trajectory.
We
man.
are on the right trajectory to start the week out right on a Monday. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day with Harold Reynolds, Matt Vasgersian, Lauren Shahadi with us as well, and a real cavalcade of guests. We'll get to this box you're opening in a moment. I just want to tell folks, Tom Verducci's going to join us. Colson Montgomery's going to join us, young prospect with a bright future.
You know he was Mr. Indiana basketball?
You said that today. I'm like, what? That's a legit thing.
That's legit.
Honestly, that's like, you put that top of the resume like U.S. Olympian.
Yeah.
It's that big a deal there.
Yeah.
Nelson Cruz, Steve Phillips, Nick Swisher, and Jeff Samardzija
Wow.
to talk
Do we
about.
have time for those two to talk?
There's not
They
enough
can
time.
go.
There's not enough time on the dial for Swish.
No.
But they're going to talk about the game tonight, right? Ohio State, Notre Dame. They're going to. We might even let them go head to head for a little while today, and just you and I can just kind of tap out.
That idea.
What's in the box? What do we got? Who's
Well, this is from Coach Slavs at Texas, right?
Oh, who we had on the program.
We had him on and said, hey, you know, you asked him for swag. He sent a nice letter. He talked about how he enjoys us. Thanks for having him on. And,
Oh, that's nice.
And what we do to promote baseball, not just the big leagues. So what do we got in here? We got
That's nice.
Some UT swag, man.
We told him, we said that burnt orange is going to look nice on Harold and I.
That's going to be nice.
That looks nice on the dark complexioned people.
Yeah.
Actually, it looks nice on any complexion. What am I saying?
Look at that. Look at that. The dark complected people.
Hook 'em horns.
Hook 'em horns. There you go.
Okay, good.
He's got a lot of stuff.
That's
Thanks,
cool,
Coach.
Very
Appreciate
cool.
that, man.
Let's get into
Thank
it
you
today. While you were
so
watching
much.
something else over the weekend, maybe you were watching the Lions.
Oh,
give
man,
it up.
those games were awesome.
That was hard to watch. I wanted the Lions to do it all, but they lost to Commandos. While you were watching something else, this was posted on Instagram from Roki Sasaki. Cryptic, not really, because not a shock. The Dodgers landed another super-duper star. They win the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes. He signs with the Dodgers. This was on Friday, and then we got the kind of official word that he signed
this
there.
This is the one that
and
took
then,
me over the top.
This is unbelievable because not because of the fact that Tanner Scott signed with the Dodgers, the price tag, Harold. Did any of us see $72 million coming for a reliever?
No.
Mark Feinsand broke this over the weekend. So two big stories. The rich get richer. The Dodgers do it again. Roki Sasaki, you said all along that's where he was headed.
Yeah.
So no surprise there. But we really thought there'd be more teams in play for Tanner Scott. I guess everybody fell out when it got to the $72 million.
Well, I mean, it fell out, I guess so. But were we surprised? I didn't even know that was going to be the Dodgers making that run. I mean, it makes sense
Scott?
when you sit back. Yeah. It just was so quiet underneath everything, and then bam.
72 million. You know, there was a time not long ago when closers commanded huge dollars. And then the industry shifted to, maybe we don't leverage all that money in a ninth inning guy. We can committee this payroll chunk. Maybe we're back to the closers getting paid. This is a big time arm. Game-changing arm. He goes to an already great World Series winning team at a huge price.
I mean, the flexibility, too. I mean, you got Blake trying to come back, right? So you can match up. You can probably – Tanner Scott's going to be able to – he's been a guy that's pitched more than just closer. Mm-hmm. So they got a pitcher. That's, I think, how they're looking at this thing. If you look at what the Dodgers are doing, what they're building a unified front for a team, so to speak.
I mean, they also took a stone out of the Padres' little wall they were trying to establish down there too. Because
they changed the direction of the Padres. They really did.
Probably not wrong. That's probably not wrong. The Pods look. The Pods. I thought that the Padres were clearing the decks for international money so they'd land Sasaki. I really thought that's where he was going to go, even though you were right all along by saying the Dodgers. So not only do they not get Sasaki, they lose Tanner Scott, and they lose both of those players to the team up north that's been their big pain in the side forever.
I got so many calls from people like, is this fair what the Dodgers are doing? This is ridiculous, blah, blah. They got to be breaking rules. They're not breaking rules. They're just smart. And I think when you go back to 2022, they started planning for Ohtani the following 2 years. They were going to get him. Remember 2022? You had Trey Turner, you had Bellinger, you had Turner, Justin Turner, and Dan Duffy. They didn't sign any of those guys.
Right.
Trey Turner was a $300 million player. Loved to have him back. Bellinger came through the Dodger farm system. That's a former MVP. $80 million. Boom. That's 380, about $400 million they didn't sign. Bye-bye. Then the next winter they go, you know what? We'll get rid of J.D. Martinez and I'll bring you back Lance Lynn, David Peralta, Rosario. What are they doing? What are the Dodgers doing? They were getting ready for one person, Shohei Ohtani.
All right, let me lock in on the financials.
And then Shohei gave him a gift. He said, you know what? I'm going to defer it.
Mm-hmm.
I said this on the program before. He got $2 million. You know how many guys got $2 million that year? 388 players got $2 million or less. And Shohei was one of them. So if you look at it, Matt, what they've been able to do all the way with Mookie, look at the money these players have deferred. They've deferred over $1 billion to the Dodgers. And that's why it is a culture where guys go and I want to play.
We got that full screen built.
Why is this so different? This is why I think where things have changed. The money has changed the game, but here's how the money's changed the game, Matt. When I was coming up and free agency was a thing we were fighting for, and you got free agency at 6 years, guys were making, by the time they got to free agency, $100,000, $200,000. And then they became a free agent, and they were able to make $1 million. $1.5 million, or Dave Winfield got 10 years at $10 million.
Yeah.
You know, wow, Winnie, amazing. That was then. Now free agency is, I've already made 100-some million probably by the time I'm 6 years into free agency and I'm a big-time player. I probably made it 20 million, 25 million. I probably made close to 50 million. Now it's about winning. And that's what these guys, they all know they're going to get paid. But I want to win.
And it's easy to say that when you know you're going to get paid.
Yes.
Or you,
exactly.
Right, you have that guarantee, or you know it's coming in X number of months. Now you can tell everybody,
and
I just want to win.
getting paid is $100 million or more.
Yeah.
It's $72 million for a pitcher.
Yeah, it's life-changing, generationally changing money.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Look, I thought that if they landed one of these two guys, we would have been cooing about their offseason. They bring Teoscar back.
No.
Like, you know what? The only guy that's not happy about all this is the guy in the Dodgers developmental pipeline who's not a blue-chip prospect. That guy who's being groomed as a role player. That guy who's being groomed as a, 4A type player. There's no room in the inn for you, son. Sorry.
There's 29 others. Go compete.
We thought that when the Dodgers put together one of the early incarnations of a super team in '92, they had Darryl Strawberry, who was there for his second year, and they bring in Eric Davis. Remember?
Yeah, oh yeah.
And we thought, look at the Dodgers spending all this money. Oh, my God. That's chicken scratch compared to what they're doing right now.
The one that kind of I think baseball has to look at, this is my thought. This is where I'll probably get in trouble. But this is my thought.
Here we go.
It's the Sasaki signing was the one that hurt the most, because at $4 million, he's getting to pick where he goes. We're getting a player from Japan who's an international star, like Ohtani, like who's going in Ichiro's going in the Hall of Fame right now. Mm-hmm. These guys get to pick where they want to go play. If I'm a top player here in the U.S. and I'm getting $3 or $4 million, I don't get to pick where I go. They should have to be drafted. They should have to have a lottery that says, I just won the lottery, I'm going to get Sasaki.
It's not a bad idea.
It's not fair.
It's not a bad idea.
And go, I can pay $4 million. Everybody can afford the $4 million for this guy. But you know you're not going to get him. So it should be a lottery pick. He shouldn't have be able to pick like a regular free agent, because he's still under restrictions.
It sounds like
his salary's held in a spot.
It sounds like something right out of former Commissioner Selig's, equal playing field playbook, what he tried to establish when he was there. And I'm sure that Commissioner Manfred has thought about that. And by the way,
that's why they want to institute the international draft in a sense.
And they've wanted to for a long time, Commissioner Manfred. But just for everybody's edification, MLB did thoroughly vet this Dodger signing. They found, and they had released this over the weekend, they found no evidence of a handshake or a, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's all legit. This is the team he picked, and that's where he's going.
Yeah, and I'm just saying he shouldn't have the right to pick.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
At $4 million.
It's a good idea.
He should not. And when you have Mookie Betts, Shohei, Freddie Freeman, Yamamoto have a meeting with you, I'm going to play for you, too.
And let me tell you, I do think, and again, I can't wait to see what this does to, like, preseason odds, like the anticipated win total for the Dodgers. The regular season win total is probably going to be north of 102.5, which is obscene. It's probably going to be somewhere in the 104, 5, 6 category. Yeah. But, look, you get to a 5-game series in the postseason, anything can happen.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
The Harlem Globetrotters could be upset.
It's baseball.
And that's the hope that other teams have, right? Arizona's put together a really good team this year. They're legit.
Yeah, they are.
The Pods haven't done what we thought they were going to do, but there are teams that could certainly catch the Dodgers in a bad week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Max just told me in my ear, the Dodgers win total right now on FanDuel is 103.5, which is ridiculous.
That's up there.
How about this about the bridesmaids teams from Fabian Ardaya and Dennis Lin from The Athletic? This is first talking Dodgers here. Just as the Padres and Blue Jays had done, the Dodgers greeted Sasaki with a full complement of players. Former MVPs Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts were in attendance, as were Sasaki's future backstop Will Smith and the freshly extended Tommy Edman. But the biggest star of them all was Ohtani, a teammate at the 2023 World Baseball Classic who one official said was driving the bus in the effort to land Sasaki. And how about Ben Nicholson-Smith on the bridesmaid Blue Jays? Again, it didn't lead to a deal with Hiroki Sasaki, but Bo Bichette, Dalton Varsho, and Chad Green still deserve lots of credit for making the trip to Toronto to welcome Sasaki and support the organization. Indeed, good work by them.
It's good.
And, you know,
why
no
the
offense,
fuss?
but it's Ohtani.
Well, yeah.
You got a countryman, the biggest star in their country and on the planet, and he's saying, we want you here?
Well, it trumps. It's a trump card, man. You got him and Yamamoto both.
You could bring back every Blue Jay Hall of Famer. You could bring back. You could put Robbie Alomar, Paul Molitor, Dave Winfield, everybody in the history of the organization that's ever moved the needle, and it's not going to touch Ohtani's impact.
No. You can even have Joe Carter's home run on a loop. It ain't doing it. But here's the last thing on Sasaki. Why the big fuss? And I've been asked this a lot because we didn't see Yu Darvish really pitch before he got over here. We didn't really see Ohtani or Ichiro. You know, we didn't see those guys. We just heard about what they can do. We watched Sasaki in the WBC. We watched him. His stuff is electric. He may be the best at the end of the day when it all comes. He throws 100. He throws a split. He's got a nasty curve. And we watched him carve up teams in the WBC already.
6 years of controllable salary ahead of you with a kid that's, you know, still well in behind his declining years. It's crazy.
He wouldn't get Lauren out, though.
I got Paul. Oh my gosh, I love you. Oh my gosh, I love you. You're not going to love the tweet I just saw from Emily saying with all this hot stove news on the weekend, we should have hot stove on Saturday and Sunday.
Emily, keep it to yourself.
No, nobody asked you. I'm going to put it on your schedule.
Thanks for the sentiment, but no thank you.
Nice to have you with us. Who's next? Social media, a buzz after the Dodgers signed Tanner Scott, and the best meme to describe it, you know what it is.
That's
You
funny.
get a Dodger, you get a Dodger, everybody gets a Dodger. Tom Verducci and Steve Phillips' reaction coming up on the program. There was also other news over the weekend. You guys aren't TikTok people, are you?
Oh, no.
But my kids, I mean, come on. The minute it went off and came back on.
Right? Same thing in my house. They were losing their minds.
As we know, it could be gone. And Brent Rooker. I took the weekend off. The Dodgers did not. Tom Verducci leading the league in information. Tanner Scott, the latest. I remember Tom having a conversation on last week's show saying, how the heck is he still out there unhittable in the playoffs? What was your reaction to 4 for 72? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Lauren. Just blown away because if you go back just a couple of years ago, this guy was a guy kind of a middling late inning reliever with a 4.6 ERA. And had a lot of trouble finding the plate. But look at the changes here in these last couple of years, as dominant as you can find, especially from the left side. Well, what happened? Really a mechanical adjustment that he made starting in 2023. If you go back and watch, we'll see his breakdown from 2022 to 23. He's always been a drop and drive guy. So he gets low to the ground when he releases a baseball. But what he did was he got a lot lower. This is 22 here, which is low. It's not bad. But I want you to watch the release points a little bit higher and watch how he finishes. You see how his body is moving towards the third base side? Well, what he did was by sinking deeper into his legs, not just going to lower his release point, but I want you to watch his head here. You see he's much lower here. Release point is lower, but now he's driving right towards home plate. Watch his head. He's not drifting towards third base. That's called getting behind a four-seam fastball. And my goodness, when you throw 96, 97, 98, you get that extra ride. Reminds me of this guy, Billy Wagner. Low release point, staying behind the baseball. Mechanical adjustment. You talk about assembling some arms. Take a look at this. This is the highest four-seam spin rate of all the pitchers who average 96 and above. The Dodgers have the top 3 and 4 of the top 9. Are you kidding me? Listen, if you're a hitter and you face the Dodgers for a 3-game series, 4-game series, man, good luck.
Good luck. The difference in numbers for Tanner when you showed the full screen side by side. Tom is so wild. He will join Roki and company. We keep hearing about the ceiling. How do we know that the talent is going to translate? How do you think it will translate?
Well, listen, if you put Roki in the draft, he'd be a 1-1. He's kind of like a Paul Skeens. He's not a finished product coming out. But pure stuff-wise, it's off the charts. Velocity, the fastball is at 96, 97. Now, that was down a bit. But if you look at the top pitching staffs of all time to hit, and I had to look this up because I think about the pure stuff on the Dodgers staff. 1968, nobody hit in 1968, by the way. But you did have Sam McDowell, Luis T on that staff. A couple of Dodger teams recently. I think the Dodgers can push this number because Sasaki is a guy, I mentioned the four-seamer. It was down a little bit last year, caused a little bit of concern. The split is just a wipeout pitch. He's got tremendous movement down on that. The slider is a pitch he threw a little bit more last year. Not a great pitch right now. I think you'll see the Dodgers tighten that up to have it throw a little harder with a little more bite. And the mechanics are just beautiful. You know, the guy he reminds me of is Zach Wheeler. Fast-moving athlete, really gets down the mound, 6'4". He's got a lot of similarities. Release point not as low as Zach Wheeler, but like Zach Wheeler early in his career, he's got that little wrist wrap. You see when that arm comes behind him, he just explodes on the hitter. And I think because he's such a good athlete, you know, he's going to hit the ground running. Now, his career high is only 129 innings, so he's not going to be a 150, 180 inning guy for the Dodgers this year. They'll have that six-man rotation. I expect him to be around 130, 140, and I do expect he is going to dominate.
And when I think Zach Wheeler, I think consistency, crazy comp. It's hard to not think in absolutes, Tom, because when MLB Network broke the news and you had the LA rotation and the bullpen on the screen side by side, you think and you wonder about best group of arms all time. Where does this group rank? What's your answer to that?
Yeah, I think in pure stuff, it's the best I've ever seen, top to bottom. And we forget, if we do already, how deep this staff is. When you think about the stuff they bring to the mound, just start with the rotation. Yoshinobu Yamamoto has the biggest drop of any curveball in baseball. That's just crazy. Of course, Blake Snell, you talk about curveballs. His curveball is the hardest curveball to hit in all of Major League Baseball. And of course, you got Tyler Glasnow out there with a release point that's basically halfway to home plate by the time he releases the baseball. Only Logan Gilbert gets down the mound more than Tyler Glasnow. Oh, well, let's not forget about this guy. Shohei Ohtani, when he pitched a couple of years ago, the third toughest sweeper to hit in all of baseball. Now let's talk about the bullpen. Tanner Scott, how good is his fastball? Hardest fastball to hit. The lowest slug of any pitch in the big leagues. That's how good that fastball is. But don't forget this guy, Alex Vesia. He's got the most ride on a four-seam fastball and the second toughest to hit in Major League Baseball. Oh, we haven't even mentioned Blake Trinan. This guy throws an invisible sweeper. I mean, look at the break on this pitch. That's the lowest slug of any sweeper in Major League Baseball. And oh yeah, Michael Kopech. How about the highest average four-seam perceived velo in baseball? Almost 100 miles an hour. Terrific spin, top of the zone, almost unhittable. Yeah, Lauren, we mentioned the 68 Cleveland team. I think this Dodger team, top to bottom, is just going to be a handful. Last year, the Mariners had the toughest staff to hit at 220. I guarantee you the Dodgers are going to be below 220. And by the time they get to the postseason, good luck, because they can match up any one of those 5 starters they have right now, assuming, you know, they get to healthy at that point of the season. But again, I think stuff-wise, it's the best stuff I've ever seen assembled from a staff.
The fact that Shohei Ohtani was the third pitcher in that montage says it all. Meanwhile, other teams, Tom, in the National League trying to put together.
ロサンゼルス・ドジャースが再び歴史を塗り替えた朗希・佐々木の獲得により、すでに 無力だった投手陣が、さらに盤石なものとなった翔平大谷、吉信山本、ブレイクスネル、タイラー・グラスノー、そして朗希佐々木、これほどまでに圧倒的なローテーションは、MLB 史上でも類を見ないレベルに達している。この補強は、単なる戦力アップではない。ドジャースが長年にわたり緻密に計画し、ついに完成させた勝つための布陣だ。かつてないほどのピッチングデプスを備え、どの試合もエース級の先発投手がマウンドを任される。このドリームチームが誕生した瞬間、他の MLB チームは震え上がったに違いない。朗希佐々木がドジャースを選んだ理由は、単に強いチームだからではない。もうキーベッツ、フレディ・フリーマン、ウィル・スミス、そして日本人の大スターである谷と山本が彼を迎え入れるために動いた。このチームの魅力は、単なる戦力ではなく、選手たちが一つの目標に向かって団結する文化にある。ドジャースは勝つべくして勝つ好きなのだ。この補強は2022年からの計画の一部でもある。当時、ドジャースはトレイ・ターナー、コディ・ベリンジャー、ジャスティン・ターナーといった選手を再契約せず、多くのファンが疑問を抱いた。しかし、それは未来への布石だった。2023年に大谷を獲得し、2024年には山本を迎え、そして2025年に佐々木を手に入れた。この3年間の計画がついに完成を迎えたのだ。さらにドジャースは朗希佐々木だけでなく、クローザーのタナー・スコットとも驚きの72億円契約を結んだ。近年クローザーに高額契約を提示するチームは減少傾向にあったが、ドジャースは違った。タナー・スコットの圧倒的なフォーシーム、ファストボールとスライダーは、まさに試合を支配する武器。ブルペンの強化によって9回のマウンドも盤石になった。そしてドジャースが他のチームと一線を画す理由は、資金力だけではない。最大の違いは、選手たちがチームのためにサラリーのファート払いを受け入れていることだ。大谷の契約が典型的な例であり、選手たちが個人の利益よりもチームの成功を優先する姿勢を示している。これは単なるスター集団ではなく、勝つための集団なのだ。今シーズン、ドジャースがワールドシリーズ進出を果たす可能性は極めて高い。しかし、MLB は何が起こるかわからないスポーツ。圧倒的な戦力を持つチームでも、短期決戦では番狂わせが起こることがある。昨年、アリゾナ大ヤモンドバックスに敗れたように、強豪でも必ずしも勝てるわけではない。だが、今年のドジャースは昨年とは違う。すべてのピースが揃い、弱点が見当たらない。ドジャースはただの優勝候補ではない。今や MLB を支配するチームだ。圧倒的なローテーション、強力なブルペン、そして層の厚い打線。この布陣が万全の状態を維持すれば、どのチームも彼らを止めることは難しいだろう。しかし、最強のチームには最強のファンが必要だ。ドジャースは最高の補強を終えたが、最後のピースはファンの応援だ。今シーズンは MLB の歴史に残る年になるかもしれない。この瞬間を一緒に見届けよう。そして、ワールドシリーズのトロフィーを掲げるの日まで共に戦おう。